So the first thing we have to do is remove a little bit of varnish. I'm not going to cover the whole painting. I'm not going to be very thorough about it. The varnish that is on here is called a retouch, or temporary varnish. And I have a little bit of turpentine. Not much, it's not soaking. I don't want it running around in drips. But I'm going to clean up a bit of the center area here. I am not putting much pressure on this at all. It's almost wanting to roll around in my hand. Okay, that's fine. Now we take a dry one. No, this is not how you clean an old painting. There are similarities, but it's very different when you're playing with old, delicate work. Please do not do what I'm doing if you're cleaning an old painting. That takes a little bit of proper training. Okay, that's got to dry now. I guess I should mention that this being a retouch varnish, technically you should be able to paint right over it. I would rather remove it at least to some degree, because that will still provide, I think, a bit of a better bond to the original oil paint that was on there. Now, this is reasonably fresh paint because it's only a couple of years old. That's still, you know, by the standards of oil paint, that's really not that old. So I didn't want to just keep cleaning and cleaning because I'll start to remove oil paint. Don't want to do that either. Also, I did not clean the edges, you probably noticed, very much anyway, maybe a little bit, because the area I'm going to be working on is contained within the edges. I don't think I'm going to be laying too much, if any, paint on the edge of the painting. Alrighty. As of right now, the only thing that I know for a fact that I want to change is I want to put a little more light on this rock. But I'm going to straighten and reinforce the top of it into the shadow. Not only that, I'm quite confident that we need to extend that rock by having another rock beside it. Or maybe it'll just become one rock, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, you know, I think we're just going to make that all make all this area probably one rock. Okay, a light scumbling to tone it down a little bit. And because this line is quite parallel to this line, and the light that's dropping onto this is also parallel, we have three parallel-ish lines. I think what we'll do is we'll indicate a break in that dry brown grass or weeds or whatever that is in the foreground. I'm going to go back over this, but a lower value than here. Probably more like something like that. Okay. And we will throw a little bit of light over what we have there. Little brush strokes, small changes, just playing ever so gently here. It's kind of fun to play on a painting that you've already done. Okay. Let's clean that up a little bit. Clean it up and warm it up with a bit of titanium white and a hint of raw umber and a hint of ultramarine blue. How does that compare? Yeah, that works. That's going to work okay. That's the downside of the quick and dirty clean that I did with the cotton swab. You end up with little bits of cotton here and there. And they do get tangled up in the paint. It's okay. There are things in life that are much more frustrating than that. Okay, a little more, a little dash of light over that as well. Yeah. Okay. I think the rocks are quite improved. Also, what I like is I have this line at the ends of the bush. This rock ended right there, and you know, I kind of like that the light catching the rocks and the strength, the meat of the rocks extends past there now. It's a little more staggered. I think that's improved the design a little bit. I was going to sneak this in behind your back and I decided against it. That wouldn't be very nice of me. This little patch here. Okay, I think this little spot is improved. It's starting to look better. So I liked what was going on in the water here. I didn't want to touch it, but I felt that I needed to because these rocks are now of much higher value. The bush will also most likely, I'll probably touch it with orange. Laura, I know you had put forward the possibility of introducing a bit of cobalt blue in spots. If this were a much larger painting, I think that could work quite well, but this is quite small. It's only 8 by 10 inches. So I'm not going to get too sophisticated in my variations of color. But I am going to intensify some of the light on these bushes. Now, there's another thing, and it's funny because when I first looked at this, I thought, the first thing that stepped out at me or jumped out at me was, I need to make this stronger in here. I need to bring in some higher value cad yellow in this area in order to create more drama on this line. I think I may still put the odd speck of it in here and there, but not much, because something I have to bear in mind as well is the fact, okay, ask myself the question now, what is the painting about? If I make this too interesting and draw too much attention to what is behind this bush, all it really is a wall of sort of autumn color behind there. There's not much design except for where it butts up again, or goes in behind this bush. The painting, what's the painting about? It's about this. It's really about these strong young maples and this rocky structure and just hints of reflection on the water. So that's why I'm not going to do a whole lot in the background. I like it. We're only a few brush strokes away from completion. I put this line in at a slight drop on the left because the shore is going up a little bit on the left. These rocks, as you go to the right, they're coming closer to you. So it has a bit of to me it had a bit of an odd feeling. I want to counter that with just a ripple catching some light dropping down on the left. I think that solved it. Now that ripple is not going to remain the way it is. That really is more of an indexing line for me to lay in a little bit of brighter color in the odd spot. So that's going to change. But the line, I'm happy where that is. Okay, that's it for today. Next time we'll bring it to its completion. And thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you.